Welcome back to the discussion segment of Good Morning Anambra. My name is Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
And my name is Nonye Nwokoye. We know that family marriage is an institution that God made to raise family or raise children through them. And we've enjoyed the warmth that came through marriage and families over the years. But recently, young ones have risen to tell us that marriage is a scam. So in recent outbursts, in reference to recent social media outbursts, that marriage is a scam. We are here this morning to find out if actually marriage is a scam. Ajolo.
Yeah, of course, marriage can be a scam to me because I've been married, lived in it, enjoyed every bit of it. So to me, something that I desire to be part of, and then I enjoyed every good of it that came my way. I can never say marriage is a scam because if you look at the world, the way God even said it in the Bible, that you go, leave your family, then you cleave unto your wife so that you two become one. And if it's biblical, definitely that's the way God created it to be. From the beginning, we had Adam and we had Eve. So there is no scam in it. I think it's just the laziness of the mind of the young generation that we have that need easy. Look for easy cuts, shortcuts to everything in life. They've come up with education is a scam. Probably it's not working to them. So they now want to say marriage is a scam.
All right, we have two people in the studio that are so passionate about issues of marriage. They are going to, they are guests this morning to help us look at this issue that has been making rounds. Dr. Onyi Edokwe is the coordinator, Young Couples Forum. Doc, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
We also have Paulson Okeke, a husband and a public affairs analyst. Good to have you in the studio, Paulson.
Good morning, viewers. Please join us this morning.
You're welcome. Now, let me start. First, ladies first. I don't know. We've enjoyed marriage over the years. We came from homes, and homes did not just came into being. It's through marriage. So when you hear some young people talk about marriage being a scam, how does it feel to hear such?
Honestly, I think I'll start by announcing that by November this year, I'm 20 years in marriage.
Congratulations in advance.
Thank you very much. So I can boldly say I know what marriage is. And I can tell you categorically it's not a scam.
And it should not be a
And
scam.
it will not be a scam.
Never.
Because marriage is instituted as a foundation for families. So if you tell us that marriage is a scam, in a nutshell, just saying that the family is a scam. Do you understand? So marriage cannot be a scam. Marriage, I should use this now. Marriage is not a scam because it's instituted as the basis for family. And because it is instituted as basics for family, it is built more than love, more than as a love. It is the basis is companionship. If you trace the history of marriage in the Bible, God will say, hey, let me give a man a woman that he will love. He didn't say, hey, let me make this man needs somebody to love. He said, it's not good for the man to be alone. Let me make him a helper suitable for him. So God was looking for a companionship for a man that he created, and he feels there's something lacking, that something is just adding up. Like sometimes when you're raising a memo or writing an essay, you really feel like there's something is just not adding up in this my write-up, and you feel like let me add, or you ask him, please let me add up something. That was exactly what happened to God. He noticed that something is just not adding up, and then he said, let me make a helper suitable for this man. So what are you trying to tell me? That God's plan for me, for humanity, for the family is a scam. I'm not going to believe that. Because everything that is Almighty is beautiful and wonderful. So if we remove family, if we call it a scam, marriage is scam. So what are we going to nurture? single parenting, or is he what are they calling it now? This mama something.
Baby mama.
Baby mama. Is that what you are going to encourage? Marriage is not a scam and can never be a scam because it is treated by God as a foundation for marriage. But unfortunately, just like we always twist or adulterate anything that God made, do you understand me? We remove the companionship and brought in love as basis for marriage. You are meant to love the one you marry. When you marry, because when God gave Eve to Adam, he woke up and said, wow, this is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. Which means God had already given Eve to Adam, and then she did not saw Eve and loved Eve. In Igbo culture, that's because it is a foundation for building families. And then it is more than love, it is companionship and mutual respect. Onya can be Igbo jaju ese. Makana akwonka na ejizete. Do you understand me? So why would they call it a scam? When Aman ese, if you mad na Facebook, inobagia, mama gana si nwa mchelu kamele go se adia. Isi amba mommy na shape ya maroma breast. That is what I want. Do you understand me? Omo ihe na aju ese. Ndị Igbo ga-ebili esimara esi dị ka ugwu Hausa Kaduna nata na ọ chọrọ ịnụ mmadụ n'Enugu Agidi a na-agba round a na-ajụ ese o nwere ike nwa a na-ajụ ese amadị na a na-ajụ ese gị kedu ihe a na-ajụ ọ bụ onye mama ya kedu ihe dị na agbụrụ ya dịbe nna ya na-ezu ori ya na-amakwa beji onwere ọnya dịbe nna ha and all that a na-ajụ ajụ kachasịcha si oke na ihe ha fọrọ dị mma agaziekwu ihe abịara ikwu. And then we have an equal. You have an equal. You choice an equal. All right.
That is said that is so outstanding now, and I think every right-thinking individual should think towards that. Now that you make inquiries, and that in our days or in older generation make inquiries before getting into marriage, but these days they see on social media and they are already married. So why can't they call it a scam? Now I don't know, I've forgotten your name again, but Paulson, please, I want you to I want you to come in at this point. You know, with what Onyi has just said, the way this generation is going, that's the reason they are calling marriage scam. Do you agree with that? And what do you have to say concerning that situation?
I agree with that completely. You see, with what is happening in the society today, I will blame it on the family, because the erosion of family values is what has caused the perception the youth currently are seeing everything they inherited from the family. Why? How? There is what I always call family value, because every family is supposed to have a value. When a child is growing up, they are living with such values until they become full adults. But unfortunately, peer group influences has permeated into the minds of our young ones that has destroyed everything they learned or they inherited from the family. So that's why they call it, they tell you marriage is a scam. Marriage is not a scam, but it is because of the wrong values they have imbibed. That is all.
Now, saying that marriage is not a scam.
Excuse me, come in, please. Okay. It is because of the wrong values. You meet a guy on the Facebook. He becomes the love of your life. Next thing, you're talking about marriage. You meet a guy on the WhatsApp status. He becomes the love of your life. Next thing, you're talking about marriage. What kind of society? Nobody asks how. Nobody asks why. Who is this person you are talking about marriage? Where is he or she coming from? What is he or she? What are their backgrounds? None. But just because she's beautiful or he's handsome, he has breasts, he has nyash, and he has deep pockets. He drives Lexus. He drives Mercedes Jeep, and that is all. He drives Mercedes Jeep. He drives Lexus 350. He's living well. Oh, he has a good heart because he is deceiving you with money. And that is all.
Is he deceiving me or she is deceiving herself with money?
Whichever way one will look at it. Because what makes meaning to anybody who has value does not make meaning to them. What makes meaning to them are ephemeral things, things they see. They don't see beyond their nose. Like she said, I know when my brother came home to marry sometime in the 90s, the elders my mother set out to ask questions. They ask and ask and ask and ask until at the end of the day they say, no, the mama, Maka na ba na ekwu da na no, I say, odunwo onye. That's the first question I na-ajụ na Igbo. Onwu onye, kedu onye ebe ọ bụ? Kedu ka ndị beba si eme? Eweje jube ese. If I na-ajụ ese, ala ọdị beba, I have known a particular girl. Anọrọdị because na say na mama ya ochie, not mama ya, no mama ya ochie. Nwere ka isi si eme erikọrịkọ. I said na ibe a na-esokwe na agbọ. I said, say potaba, maga potaba. These days, nobody asks such questions. Nobody. Just because now you look at him or look at her, or husband material or wife material, it's okay.
You think he is?
Or
Let me come to Dr. Onyi Edokwe. Well, good enough, you're a coordinator, young couples forum. And then the idea that marriage is a scam is based on what the netizens have seen it to be, and then they have their own argument to say. Now, the question is, from the beginning, we are suffering the consequences of a marriage between Adam and Eve and whatever transpired. How come in this generation we are still suffering that union? You understand the sins of this union. So when these young people come up to say that marriage is a scam, they have the origin of where it began. And they are telling you that Eve brought doom upon mankind, and that's what we're saying. When Adam was all alone before Eve joined, there was peace. But the moment Eve came, trouble, and then we are still living in that trouble. So how do you argue that marriage isn't a scam when from the beginning it was already, you understand, the wheels were already coming off? Over to you.
Nobody is living under any consequences. We are still facing the same thing they see as consequences because they refuse to learn their lesson. They are making the same mistake. Adam left Eve alone. Loneliness. She was alone. Hence, the serpent, the enemy had access to her. That's wrong. And so many men are still leaving their wives alone in different forms, in different shades. The woman is in the marriage. Yes, she's very lonely. You don't communicate. There was no proper communication between Adam and Eve. That was the mistake Adam made.
But Eve is aware not to have taken food.
No,
there was an instruction.
No. The instruction was given to Adam. And Adam did not pass the instruction across to the wife.
Are you sure you're quoting the Bible?
Yes. You wanted, I'm telling you now, go and read the book of Genesis 2. There was nowhere Eve and Adam called Eve and said, you see, my dear wife Eve, God said you should not eat this food too. The decision was given to Adam even before creation of Eve. Do you understand me? So when you get married, let me
correct. At that point, Eve presented the apple to Adam. Adam asked, is this not the apple that the Lord said we shouldn't eat from? Then the serpent, Eve now said, I've eaten of it. And what the Lord said isn't what, that is what the Bible made us understand.
Can we just open up the scripture? No. At this point, you can open up the scripture.
That is what...
No, let's read the scripture. That's not what is in the scripture.
She was aware of the consequence of it.
No. That's what Adam just came back. Eve gave him apple, he ate without asking questions. That's just the truth. There was no such conversation between the two of them. It was when God came in the evening and was walking through the garden and found that Adam and Eve was hiding. He now asked Adam, what have you done? Instead of him to say we have eaten the apple, he said, it is the woman you gave to me. He didn't even say, I ate the apple. God figured it out himself. Do you understand? Because God in his infinite wisdom knows that the only thing that will make Adam to be hiding from me is because he has done that which I asked him not to do, which is eating the apple. And then, immediately Adam said, it is the woman you gave to me. And the woman said, it's the serpent, which is the same mistake we are still making, women are still making in the families. When you marry a woman, be transparent. Let her know who you are. Carry her along. Let there be communication. Protect her. Don't leave her lonely. Your wife now might be what is happening in your office. Do you understand me? She doesn't know anything about you. She doesn't know where your whereabouts. She doesn't know what she needs to know about the family she came into. She doesn't even know what she needs to know about the man she's married to. She or build that of defense around her. I can tell you, one of the major issues in marriage is that so many people are married but they are lonely.
All right, I think at this point we'd like to, let's try to bring in an explanation of what marriage actually is and how beautiful it is for the benefit of those that are saying that it is scam. Me, last Wednesday was my 25th year in marriage, and I've seen it all, and I know what it means. Now, what actually is marriage, and how best to go about it for the benefit of these young ones watching the program?
Yeah, like my colleague said earlier, marriage is the foundation of the family. But it is not just the family, it is the society. Because family begets the society. So in marriage, when there is
I remember growing up in social studies, marriage, family is a primary place of socialization.
Exactly, okay. That's where I'm coming in our sociology class. That's the same thing. Now, marriage is the union of two people. Like the Bible said, go into the world and multiply. That is God's injunction to man and woman. Go into the world and multiply. And the Bible further said, a man should leave his family and meet a woman, and they should build a new family. That is the beginning of a family. Now, they have met, they settle down, they begin to produce. When they are producing, they are building family. Now, as they are building family, the children are growing, they're training them, nurturing them to become better citizens, to become people who have values, who should be their future. That's the parents now. Now, who should build a future for the entire society. As they have grown, like I said, they try to inculcate in them good moral beginning as family, because that is where it starts. Good moral beginning. It starts from the family. As you build them, they're growing, they're going to school, they're doing that, they're growing within family. Until such a stage, they will enter university. At university, they begin to have minds of their own. It's no longer what you tell them they will be doing, because they have become adults from 18. At that stage, they form their own opinion about life. It's not going to be what you tell them that they will know. Or it's not going to be how you tell them to live that they will live. Now, they will begin to live the way they want. And that is where the problem starts. Now, this group we call peer group, we begin to influence on them. Because the friends they keep, the activities they undertake, we begin to form another teachings to them. Mommy said we should not do this. But look I think mommy is wrong, because such and such thing is happening. My friend has been doing it and nothing has happened to him or her. And you know it, from this thing, they are growing. I have seen an incident where a group of, I will call them teenage girls or young girls, but fresh students, came into this five-star restaurant. One was was afraid to enter, was so skeptical. The other was urging her on, come in, come in. He said, no, my mommy wouldn't allow me to be in this place. No, he said, come in now, is your mommy here? That's what that particular was telling the other. Now, they were friends, but they came to 5-star. This one was so afraid or shy to enter. The other one, come in, your mommy is not here, and so on. That is the beginning of the breakdown of the values. Because her friends influenced her to go to where mommy said you shouldn't go. For her, mommy said we should not come to a place like this. But her friends had now influenced her. Is your mommy here? Come, let's go. And she followed. And so it will be in any other thing or any other place. So that is why we are saying that the society contributes so much to the perception of the young ones. Exactly. And when the young ones begin to nurse or begin to have negative perception about certain institutions, who are you to blame? Will you still blame the family? No. You blame the society because the society has impacted on them wrong values that cannot help them further in future.
How then do you handle the cases where these youngsters have access to the internet, what happens all over the world, and they get it up, they get the updates the minute it's happening? You see people killing spouses, and they tell you that, is this what I'm going to get into tomorrow? How can two people that agree to love themselves before God, you understand, swear their vows and everything, make vows and everything, and at the end, one is killing the other? Or you get married today, tomorrow you guys are filing for divorce, and a man is rendered homeless, and the woman takes everything. When people come up to say that marriage is a scam, they have reasons. There are proofs out there that this thing hasn't worked, and they are saying it. So it's not as if they are saying it out of the blues. There are basic facts which you and I know. You have 20 years celebration of marriage. 20 years, good, it's working for you. Noye has 25 years, but there are people that have died.
I have 22.
22. Well done, good for you. But there are people that have died. There are people that have died. There are people that have died all in the name that they are married. You understand? So now, how then do you express what happens in the social media when they say things like this?
How many years have you been married?
14 years.
Okay, thank you. Welcome on board. Then, Steve, do you know one thing? We are talking about laughing. When my colleague and brother was talking, he said, the social media, pressure. Let me tell you what my scripture said, and I believe it. So, train a child in the way he should go, and when he do, he won't be back for it. He didn't say when he's growing, he said when he grows. And now let me tell you one thing. God knows that he's growing, and there will be a lot of forces. That's why God requested that you lay the foundation. And the laying that foundation is something you become very intentional about. You don't say what you don't mean, and when you say something, then more than saying things, do it. Do you understand me? I can tell you, there's no child that will see the mutual respect, understanding, and love between her parents that will go out and call marriage scam. No matter the picture the society paints, do you understand me? No matter the picture the society paints, there's no girl or a boy that will see his father as in loving their mom, see the mom honoring their father, that will call marriage scam.
The child the man that set the wife ablaze, and the children are aware of it. When those children grow up and begin to say that marriage is a scam, that marriage brought the death of
that's what I'm saying. I said that because he's talking about social media, peer pressure, and other external influence. And I'm telling you that because family, the basis for family is the foundation for family is marriage. Do you understand me? And that because so that your children are going to grow up to get married, that's why me, should start setting the example at home. That no child, do you understand me, that experience first-hand love and good relationship between the parents that will go out Do you understand me? And call marriage a scam. I'll just let you a little into my own world. My father will always come back and call my mother woman. That's the love he knows. Be a woman. My mom will answer, and I go. Do you understand? And she will see her trying to hasten everything. And my dad didn't. Oh, poor woman, mother, I'm use here. You got to go. Every day I spoon and nobody uses it. At that level there, that is the honor she understood. Hey, you have gaji papai, you have spoon papai. I learned that honor. And my father not to Sunday in the evening saying, "Mwabia, mwapo, we could go to something." I bet they really are my mom. Or trying to be no master. Wanya, the car, no more one. Do you understand me? Who see him loving my mother at his own. Yeah. So growing up, and then there's one of my aunties, her house in the village is the next house. I will see how the husband will be the one that has this kind of loud voice and then the woman understanding the husband will not be saying, do you understand me? And then the man will come back, buy the woman clothes. In asking her to go and change the clothes, do you understand me? She will not say, this is what our generation. But me as a child, I was admiring all those things. And then to my hearing, my grandmother was sitting with one woman, and the next day, somebody called the woman. Before, as a child, I was just seated there and said, do you understand me? You know, I said, do you understand me? People happen not as you got to wine. Do you understand me? And that taught me that marriage, you need to understand when you're getting on. And growing up, I had all those mental pictures, and I was looking forward to experience. But when upon a child that grew up, when I'm going to say this again, I had a cousin, a family member, that their mother and father were like fighting everything. I wish she came to holiday in my house 2 years after my marriage. She stayed 2 years, and she was like, and sister, is this what marriage is? Do you understand me? The next time she traveled, the father and their mother, the father started throwing tons to them as in that insult, and she ran to my house, and I told them that she's in my house, and I called the father. I traveled to that. Look at your daughter says she will never get married. The men are wicked. And the man was like, is that the message I'm passing across? That was when she started, and I'm telling you, today, she had the best of marriage.
Okay, now, it's quite unfortunate that generations today see grandparents as witches, and most times some don't take their children close to their grandparents or their mother-in-laws that they can learn certain things from.
Their grandparents should also relate with your children are watching.
I know. There are some things that are going on which should not be, but I think we are here to let the younger generation understand that marriage is never a scam, but the way to go about it so that it will not be a scam to you, peradventure you enter tomorrow. You remember growing up, there is this thing that Igbos does. When a young man is just there behaving anyhow, they say, believing that when the woman comes, the guy. Sometimes the people would say, it's funny, but that has been happening.
Yeah,
so, with this,
it has happened very well.
Yes, with this situation now, that when a woman comes into the life of a man, if he's a man that is scattered, she helps the man,
to package himself. And even the Bible said that a virtuous woman, that the husband is known in the gate. When we begin to interpret that, you will understand what actually it means for a husband to be known in the gate. Now with that, can we still encourage, or can these children still see marriage as a scam? So what are the qualities they should look out for in a man, or how do they work towards getting marriages that are not scam? Because I see a lot of them that are, some are 30s, some are in their early 30s, late 30s, but yeah, they're not yet married. They are not even bothered. So what do we, how do we encourage them to understand
that marriage is never a scam and will never be a scam?
Well, it is still what we are saying here. Family values, build up. What we do, or what we do as human beings, is that we should try to do things that will make these younger ones to see the value in marriage, knowing that marriage is the best thing anybody could have, any matured adult should have. One, just like you said, when a man is not behaving very well, they say, let's get a wife for him so that he could be more responsible and reorganize himself. It's very important because they say 2 heads are better than one. 2 good heads, though. When a man gets a wife, he now has a helpmate, like Adam said. Since he has a helpmate, 2 of them could be discussing, sharing things, sharing thoughts. But it is not, the people who call marriage a scam has no time for what we are discussing here. Because their mind is presented already to a particular direction. Marriage is a scam. No, I'm not going to get married. Yeah, somebody told it. This particular, did I tell you that I'm looking for a husband? Did I tell you I want to marry? So just last week, and it's a 34-year-old lady. You understand? I said, you don't want to get married. I said, okay, those who are inside wants to come out. Yeah, because is it William Shakespeare that said that marriage is that institution where those inside wants to come outside, but those outside wants to go inside. So that will tell you that marriage is not a platter of gold. But yet, people still have to endure. But you see, there are from generation to generation, marriage has lost its values. Our own generation, there are things to get married for, because you have seen your parents the way they live in peace. How your father, like my colleague said, how her mother and her father lived, and it's a very peaceful home. And the neighbors, so the 2 families now. But all these things, the influence of social media has helped to destroy everything that is left in marriage. Because when a child picks up his or her phone, and you see a man beating the wife, killing and the rest, you begin to have a thought. Is this what marriage is all about? No, it is not. It is because in that particular family, there are 2 strangers who refuse to understand themselves. Because as we are talking, we know, I have always said, that marriage is where we adopt the principle of trying to harmonize our basic human indifferences to achieve results. But if you don't do it, you must harmonize your basic human indifferences, because you are coming from a different background. I'm coming from a different background. The way you reason is not the way I reason, and so on and vice versa. But we must have to harmonize in order to live. And our failure to do this thing will always spell doom in that marriage. What am I saying? Sorry. I still have a saying that the church has much moral responsibility in fostering marriage, in making marriage to stand. How? When we were small, we were taken to catechism class to know God. I'm a young man then. I was a young man then. The church should have known that someday I should be talking about marriage. At the same time, the young lady with us, the church should have known that someday she will be talking about marriage. The church did not start to tell us about how to live as husband and wives. That is what the church should do. If they are not doing it, they should start doing it today. The church should not just take us to catechism class to ask us, onye bu chukwu bu mmụọ kasị akasị onye ji aka adịrị n'onwe na-enwere isi mbido nke ọ na-enwe isi njedebe bụrụ eze onye okike osebụlụwa nke ife niile. The church should begin to tell us how to treat a woman and tell the woman how to treat a man Because
you want to experiment what the church is saying at that tender age.
No, it is not.
That's why they have marriage course.
Exactly.
No, I'm coming. The church should not tell us when I get married, just 3 months to my marriage, you ask me to come for marriage course. 3 months are not enough. 3 months are not enough. Because that 3 months are not a marriage course. On the haphazard, because I might have something I'm chasing. I'll tell why. And that is it. So ordinary enough. How can man be don't know?
It should be a proposal for the church. You know, maybe they do it for the youth.
I believe that leaders of the church should know, should hear me and reason along. Because I have discussed this with some priests, and they say you are right. At least 10 priests have discussed with. And they said you are right.
I think Onyi wants to add something. But Onyi, sorry, before you add, I think we have to go on break. Please, when we return, you can now add what you wanted to add. It's Good Morning, Anambra, and we are looking at, is marriage actually a scam? And we'll take a short break here. Let's feel the pulse of the masses. We'll be right back shortly.
No, marriage is not a scam. For me, though I believe it's an opinionistic stuff, you get. People have different opinions about things. So me personally, I don't think marriage is a scam. For me personally. So other people that say marriage is a scam probably is because of their own opinion. Probably they have bad experience about marriage and the rest of them. So maybe when you talk to them, you find out why they said marriage is a scam. But for me, it is not a scam. Because that marriage, I don't think I'll be existing.
Marriage is a scam. No, when you tell your child, you're not doing wine. No game, before I'm not on wine. You get your job for man. A Juju, whenever I go, Ajuju. So Ajuju, I have Egypt to the family. Catch up Tama on baseball man, Canadianata. Mark Aburo had Mama Bruna Yara, Mama Bruna Ebuto Bayara, Mama Ondina 1 week, more kind of thing. So when you hear this channel that you got near. Manakita, I just here. Then they missing now. I've been at township. I love you. I know my wine. What I go to know we can know based on Nafolia, na dress near them or na my wine. Mani more the Mekos wedding. So Manobu na AJ week came inquiry. You talk for my the family can say me. Because now family in wine, family only scally. But Abiana is an dry and I say, Nekuma Mea, baseball man. Andrea Maka. From then, all back case in what is car. Marriage is not
a scam because marriage is ordained from God. He said we should go to the world and multiply. It's in the scripture. Without being multiplied, I don't know how the world will be.
If marriage was to be a scam, I wouldn't have been here. I'll probably be in the streets, be one kind of, let's say, very, how will I put it now, that it will not sound very rude. Probably I'll be someone that don't have a good upbringing, do you get? Because family is not a scam. My parents were the best thing that happened to me because they were like dicks. So they're the two examples of marriage is sweet and that kind of fun. So I grew up in that lovely environment and seeing them, even after my father died, my mom was still there doing everything and like, I'm going to bring up my children the way my husband would have. You know, that kind of stuff. So you actually know that these people actually believe in this union called marriage. So if my parents believed in it and it works for them, why won't I believe in it? So it's not a scam.
In a way, it can be. And in our hands, it may not be. Originally, God has destined marriage, man and woman. But the way people get into marriage these days, in a trickish way, some get into marriage, maybe women, mostly women, out of frustration. And some long waited because maybe they've not seen a man or such. They might devise any means just to get sure they are married. And that is what leads to divorce. And most of the things that is happening in social media today, you can see a woman in Lagos in overseas dating a man in Nigeria or thereabout. And then before you know it, they don't know. Love. Before you know it, they get married and 2 or 3 days they get divorced. And that is what's happening today.
glad that we heard our street parliamentarians give us their own opinion on marriage being a scam or not. Well, we have our guests here. They are still battling it out. They are telling us that marriage is not a scam. And then some people are still of the opinion that marriage is a scam. Now, how do you put it that some people will come up and tell you that the reason why they are not yet married is because they don't have the finance to get into it? And then they say, okay, fine, they get married, and at the end of it all, the woman or the man is living off them. You understand? The man ain't want to call, the woman is working. That means you entered into it with a pre-notion that you want to come and be living off where you're not earning. So, give or take, there is still a scam in this whole discussion we're having. But we'll get to the root bottom of this with this next question that I have for Paulson. Paulson, we've seen where men are idle and doing nothing, and they just look for a woman that is established, and they all begin to propose all sweet talks, sweet nothings, whispering it in our ears and say, I love you, and the rest of it all. And marriage ensues. And you see a man that is meant to take care of a woman, now the woman is taking care of her. And you tell me that marriage is not a scam. Haven't you heard or seen that kind of a thing happen before?
No, when you say marriage, there's no law that the Bible says the man should take care of his wife. But then the contemporary society has made it that it's not just the man this time, but everybody. No, because they're
need to come together.
Wait, I'm coming.
From the beginning.
Yes. Both parties should come together to live and contribute to the growth of the family.
Yes.
Fine. But as we are discussing, the issue at stake, the economy, the contemporary society has now made it that both should come together. A man might not have a job doing. A man who doesn't have a job doing doesn't look for a wife. That is Igbo people, I know. Because you can see a man who is 50 years, you know, saying, okay, I know I've had some men say it. But whereby they must live, then he might be making one or two efforts that could be sustaining him. He now might be looking for a woman. Yes, and when such a woman comes in, stabilize their demand, they grow. But
sometimes the family will be supporting the
sometimes
woman.
Sometimes the woman's family,
is
the woman's family will or the well to do, I support all the man who grew obulum madu, nyebepaka, oneme in many places. But another making India saying a marriage is scam. Because India was still a marriage is scam, they are ready-made seekers. Oh, he has he rides Mercedes Jeep. Oh, all husband material. Oh, India say no scam. Therefore, you can walk past the on a riding Mercedes Jeep, name with a foundation. Can you on a IP computer? Pitego Mercedes Jeep, Jego. Then, overall husband material. Tomorrow, and when challenges, or see whatever, bapota, marriage is scam. For goodness, for crying out loud, marriage abroad scam. Manaya John Johnny Abon, and then marriage is scam. Bunde, Hano, you have okay be no. For 7 years, 8 years. Bunde Hano, you have even no. For 7 years, 8 years. Burundu with 6 boyfriends. 7 boyfriends, 8 boyfriends. Bulundu with 10 girlfriends. Bulundu na bagale ka aturu na enwere onye nche. Now, what is the difference between marriage and relationship? Kangwa ga eziokwu. The only difference in marriage and relationship, eba be nwoke jebili 2 years, 3 years, mana say you are not married. Because kedibe di iche. You are married, but you don't have in-laws. Very simple. Right. Because you are not giving to bed. On work goes to whereby a young posting no. Oh yes. On work goes to whereby a young couple. Let us stop deceiving ourselves. Marriage abroad scam. Open a marriage will scam. On what the hedge go get and okay.
All right.
On what the hedge go get and why? In all long way.
I think
years. For 10 years. He said 10 years. At the end of the day, what is left of you after dating him for 10 years? What is left of you? Couldn't care up with the digi. I enjoy it. And all day. And up with us in a marriage is scam. Only reason it marriage scam. But only the wrong value of marriage.
All right, can we allow Onyi come in at this point? There's something you've been nudging to say.
Let's see if you will prove to us that marriage is.
Do you know what? Unfortunately, sometimes when I see people that call marriage scam, I don't always blame them. Do you know why?
No.
It's not blaming them and pity them. Okay. I will always want to understand where that person is coming from. Is that it's coming from the person's experience as a child, what the person has seen as a child, or the things you have exposed yourself to. So many people are carrying so much baggages. Do you understand? Of not even failed marriage. The way what their relationship
where they put themselves.
Where they put themselves. The things you've gotten yourself involved into. You've had relationships with men that they hurt you so badly. Do you understand me? And instead of seeking to heal from that, you jumped into another marriage. And the innocent man that came to marry you, you are saying, I'm just going to use names that I just fabricate names and use. Maybe you dated Chinedu, you dated Efana, and all of them, they treated you so badly. And then the innocent Frank came to marry you, loved you genuinely, and you refuse to see Frank from who he is. You are still seeing Ifa, you are still seeing Chinedu. Do you understand me? And then Frank is trying to say, this girl, I love you, I want to, let's build this thing. If I ate my money and ran away, therefore, Frank will not see this money. Do you understand me? If I used to humanize, therefore Frank is humanizing. Even when you say, I'm playing, see me, I can't cheat on you, we are always trying to. Do you understand me? So one of the things, when people say marriage is, where are you coming from?
Actually, what you're saying, I had a friend then that married newly, she kept telling me that the auntie said marriage is difficult. That's how she came into them. So I now started lecturing. We were both just few years apart. I started now telling her something. Me, I don't know. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books before I got married. So I didn't learn from anywhere. So I started telling her certain things that you can't say marriage is difficult. Settle down first and find out for yourself how it is. Don't just based on what your auntie told you. Now, I don't know. Okay.
Another thing I want to say is the same thing I said about girls now as coming in from baggages. It also happens to men also. Okay. You dated Chinelo, you dated because she cheated on you, she did this, after all you did for her, she wasn't appreciating. And you got married to an innocent girl that's expecting or just want you to love her. You are still seeing Chinelo and Ngozi in that girl. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we have, first of all, before you go into marriage, work on yourself. Do you understand me? Heal from past hurt and the experiences. It will help you to come into that marriage fresh. Then, secondly, so many people prepare for wedding. You said now you read a lot of books. You wanted to know. You wanted to understand what am I going into. Some girls, what they have said, hey, the latest wedding gown, I want to get married. Hey, I want a man that have both shoulder. You don't even want to know any other thing. Just what does it mean to be married? You are preparing yourself for wedding, for traditional wedding, but you don't want to prepare yourself for marriage. Another thing, another factor to what you are saying is parents. Recently, a young girl came to me for counseling, and she said, her challenge started after the mother's last visit to their house. And even the fact the husband had to just forgot about, as in didn't even bother buying anything for the mother as she was going. The mother was, no, quite have a package, the moment, this guy, no more car, I get it. Do you understand me? And she said she didn't know all those things was getting into her. And she started reading meaning into. Then there are some things that the husband likes eating. You buy it for himself. And say, all of selfishness, no, but you buy what he felt all of them nice. So I'm telling you, all that tiny things that the girl wasn't seeing before, the mother made her to start seeing it. And the husband noticed that immediately the woman came into the house, that the wife changed.
All right, we can actually go on and on, but our time is fast spent. We are sorry, we can't go further than this. And maybe we'll revisit this topic some other time.
It's an interesting topic.
It's very interesting indeed. Please, our viewer, this is actually the much you can take on this program to make way for other things coming up on Good Morning Anambra show. And would like to thank you in no small measure, Dr. Onyi Edokwe, for coming on the show this morning. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
We also thank you so much, Paulson, for being here this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that's it on our discussion segment. We have some other thing coming up.
Catch the Boss is up next. Don't go anywhere. The show continues after this.